Honourable Member, I'm grateful for drawing my attention to this administrative lapse. You have clerks to all the committees, and before we program a paper or report to be laid, particularly papers, documents from outside the House, sufficient copies will have been presented to the office of the clerk before we program them. And so when they are laid, the clerk to the committees are expected to go to the office of the clerk to take the copies and cause it to be distributed to members. It's not for the chair or ranking to go looking, chasing, and trying to get the papers from any office at all. That's the duty of the clerks. And so I will take it up and direct the table office. The table office is headed by the clerk himself to ensure that these provisions are complied with. They are in the standing orders of the House. So I'm grateful for drawing the House's attention to this. Please, we're laying papers. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, thanks for the opportunity. To avoid the similar problem we had with the report from the appointment committee, we just laid a report. Is it possible for you to direct that once a report is laid, there should be a time limit within which the report should be distributed to members, so there's no ambiguity as to whether it was laid and distributed, because it's been laid, and rightly so. But currently, I can't see any movement from anywhere distributing anything to members of this House. So we just want clarity. When it's late, maybe there should be a time limit within which the distribution should take place, so members can be in anticipation of when to receive the report, because the majority leader eloquently quoted Order 75-1, and I agree with him. But we just laid another one, and there's no sign of the distribution of that report as we speak. Mr. Speaker, just to avoid any confusion in the future, we need time limit within which the report ought to be distributed to members. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Majority Chief Whip.
Speaker, I think we are making progress. I'm surprised my colleague raised this matter. 75 is clear. 75 is clear. The Speaker shouldn't be given any timelines. That is why, in the wisdom of the framers of the audit, 75 is very clear, unless you want us to subject it to a debate. So let's leave it like that. So I want to further suggest that we go on and take, since we are laying papers, we take item 6B. That's 6B, and the minister is here.
I really don't see the minister.
Annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Ministry of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation for the year 2021. Okay, awesome. One.
Honorable members, the annual statement captured in item 6B on the Ministry of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation is hereby referred to the Committee on Science and Technology for consideration and report to the House. 6C, Roman 1 and 2 by the Minister for Transport. Yes, please.
Speaker, we will proceed on to page 5.
Honorable member, I just mentioned an item. The Minister for Transport is not available, or the papers are not ready.
Speaker, with respect, the Minister is not available.
What about the rest of the items?
Speaker, with respect, all the other items are not ready. Hence, we want to proceed and take item 8 on page 5. With your leave.
I have not granted leave on that yet. Yes, honorable member. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I was drawing your kind attention to Order 4003, which
Order 40.
203. It
Yes.
is past 2 o'clock, and I indulge you to this time. Thank you.
Thank you for drawing my attention. Honorable members, in view of the nature of business before the House, I hereby direct that sitting be held outside the prescribed period. My attention was drawn earlier on, but because we're in the middle of some proceedings, I didn't do it. Thanks so much. Now, we can proceed to item 8. Item 8.
Mr. Speaker,
Yes, First Deputy Speaker.
I rise to move that this House adopts the report of the Appointments Committee on His Excellency the President of the Nation for ministerial and deputy ministerial positions. Speaker, I will seek your leave to only read the highlights of the report, whilst I urge the Hunter Department to capture the rest of the report in its entirety. The Speaker, on Tuesday, February 7th, 2023, the President, in accordance with Article 78(1) and 79(1) of the 1982 Constitution, communicated to Parliament the nomination of the following persons for consideration and approval as Ministers of State and a Deputy Minister. 1. Honorable Kobina Tahir Hammond, Minister Designate for the Ministry of Trade and Industry. 2. Honorable Brian Echampong, Minister Designate for the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. 3. Mr. Stephen Asamoah Boateng, Minister Designate for the Ministry of Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs. 4. Honorable Mohammed Amin Adam, Minister of State Designate for the Ministry of Finance. 5. Honorable Osei Bonsuamwa, Minister of State Designate for the Ministry of Local Government, Decentralization and Rural Development. And 6. Honorable Stephen Amwa, Doctor, Deputy Minister Designate for the Ministry of Trade and Industry. The Speaker, the committee advertised the nominations and invited the public for memoranda eveni for the consideration of the committee. The Speaker, subsequent to that, the committee sat and conducted 2 public hearings for the consideration of the nominations. Mr. Speaker, all the nominees appeared before the committee in questions relating to their eligibility or their qualification to be nominated for the positions, what they have done in the past, and what they consider or hope to do in the future. Speaker, the report covers all the matters relating to their eligibility, qualification, and after 2 days of consideration, the committee concluded as such. The Speaker, I refer to the conclusion. The committee, in the light of the provisions of Article 78(1) and 79(1) of the 1992 Constitution, standing orders, have considered the nominations of His Excellency the President for Ministers of State and Deputy Minister. The nominees demonstrated knowledge in the areas of finance, agriculture, chieftaincy, culture, trade and industry. The committee therefore recommends to the House by a majority decision for the adoption of its report, recommends the approval of Honorable Katie Amond for the Ministry of Trade and Industry, Honorable Brian Champong for the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Mr. Stephen Asamoah for the Ministry of Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, Honorable Mohammed Amin Adam, the Minister of State, the Ministry of Finance, Honorable Osei Bonsu Amwa, the Minister of State, the Local Government Ministry, and Honorable Dr. Stephen Asamoah, Deputy Minister for Trade and Industry. Mr. Speaker, I so move. Thank you.
Any seconder?
Mr. Speaker, with respect, and if it pleases you, I shall proceed to second the motion moved by the chair of the committee. Mr. Speaker, Article 78 of the Constitution makes provision for such nomination and goes further to talk about the necessary qualification for such important public office. Again, Article 94 sufficiently provides what essential qualifications there are for a person to be considered for election for this august chamber, and by extension to be a Minister of State. Mr. Speaker, it is my contention that the basis upon which the minority rejected these nominees was not founded on the Constitution.
Honorable Member, I don't have anything before me here that the minority have rejected these nominees. I don't know where you are coming from.
Mr. Speaker, the report says, Mr. Speaker,
Yes.
perhaps to help the situation.
Yeah, it's here. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, the report of the committees says, the committee therefore recommends to the House by majority decision the adoption of this report and approval of the following. Mr. Speaker, my submission is that all members of the minority voted against the report, and that is my contention. And I am saying that the basis upon which they mounted their opposition
Is that in the report? All members of the minority voted against the.
it is so. Mr. Speaker, that's a matter of record. Yes.
Can you refer to the paragraph?
Mr. Speaker, I read at page 62,
Yes.
paragraph 6.
Yes.
The committee therefore recommends to the House by majority decision. Mr. Speaker, there is emphasis if you have a copy of the report.
Honorable, you are a lawyer.
Yes. Mr. Speaker,
I am talking about members at the committee level, not members at plenary session. When you refer to minority members of this House, there are 137. At the committee level, how many members are there? At the committee level, when you refer to minority and majority, you are not talking about the divide. You are talking about the vote that is taken at the committee level. Some members of the majority could have voted against the report, but they will constitute minority, not majority. So please, that is why I say, draw my attention to it. And I know what is ongoing now. And therefore, you have to move away from those kind of statements, and let's go on.
Mr. Speaker, I am guided. Mr. Speaker, so in seconding this motion, which motion is to pray this House to approve these nominees. Mr. Speaker, it is my case that all the nominees, except nominee 3 at page 63(2) of the committee's report, are currently sitting members of Parliament. They are our colleagues. We know them. We know their potential. We know their capacity. We know what they have done for this country. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Katie Amo, an affable character, an experienced counsel, an experienced member of the House, who, Mr. Speaker, has previously occupied a ministerial portfolio, albeit a deputy ministerial portfolio. And today, by merit, he's earned this nomination. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Brian Achampo is a member of this House. He was once a Minister of State at the National Security Ministry. He was later transferred, Mr. Speaker, to the Ministry of Interior. And Mr. Speaker, his experience in the private sector is for all of us to get. Mr. Speaker, going to a ministry such as Food and Agriculture, Mr. Speaker, I have no doubt on my mind, and I believe colleagues will have no doubt on their mind, that he's going to make a lot of inroads in ensuring that that sector is boosted. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Asamoah Boateng, he served as a member of Parliament. He was in this House. He worked in government circles, became a Minister of State. And Mr. Speaker, in this administration, what we know as SIGA today, State Interest and Governance Authority, Mr. Speaker, this is a man who transformed that State Enterprise Commission and shepherded it to have a new enactment to govern all the state institutions of commercial interest. And Mr. Speaker, there is no doubt on my mind that he also meets the essential qualifications as stipulated in the 1992 Constitution, Article 94 and 78. Mr. Speaker, our own Obi Amwa, he is somebody we well know in this House. He's been a member of the appointment committee. We know his experience. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Stephen Amwa. Honorable Stephen Amwa. Honorable Stephen Amwa. Mr. Speaker, one more time, Honorable Stephen Amwa. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, none of us can look him eyeball to eyeball and say that he is undeserving of this honor. Mr. Speaker, it is not possible. So, Mr. Speaker, I am saying that as a House, we can bring down any possible temperature and demonstrate to Ghanaians that yes, we can disagree, but when it is necessary, we will agree for the forward march of the country. Although we came to a decision by majority, I know that here at plenary, this House can, by consensus, proceed to use a voice vote to approve of all these nominees. Mr. Speaker, governance must not be seen to be obstructed, and you've used that expression this morning at another forum. But that does not also mean that we should not do our scrutiny. We've done the scrutiny, and Mr. Speaker, although there were some initial disagreements, all members of the committee participated in the vetting. And Mr. Speaker, our colleagues in Kenya are citing what happened at our committee hearing, that although we can be friends, when it becomes critical, we scrutinize. The famous statement from our respected colleague from Brana Champon to Honorable Kesio Akufo-Addo. I thought we were friends. Are you not my friend? And he said, yes, you are my friend. But let me do my work. Today, at the Kenya Parliament, they are quoting us that yes, there can be friendship, there can be relationship, but when it gets to the job, you get it done. Each member of the committee had an opportunity to ask very important questions of national importance. Nobody was restrained, and I enjoyed it. As an advocate, when I see said pound for pound, I enjoy it because it helps grow democracy to the extent that we mean no ill. And I am happy that long after the whole exercise, we continue to maintain good relationship. Atu, after asking all his questions, Kwame Boja, after asking all his questions, my very good self had the opportunity to also ask questions to clarify matters. Mr. Speaker, all was for the beauty of democracy. So, Mr. Speaker, I shall conclude by saying that, as we know now for the records, nobody has come out with any contrary view on these nominees. A contrary view rooted on their qualifications in the Constitution. So this House on all fours is well grounded, well fortified to explain matters to stakeholders who are outside of this chamber that indeed we didn't take a bad decision. Indeed, we did the right thing. Indeed, we understand that the bona fides of Article 79 must be respected. And that is why we did what we did. Yes, Mr. Speaker, members may have a view as to the number of persons to occupy a particular governance structure, as in ministerial appointments. But again, the captain in charge, is also constitutionally mandated to look at his vision and then again move along with a certain number. So, Mr. Speaker, these are matters that can be explained and justified. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, there should be no worry at all for all of us to consider favorably these nominees, for they have earned this by merit, and we should not be seen to be taking a decision of political convenience against them. Mr. Speaker, posterity may not look at it the way we expect it to look at it. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I call on colleagues to do the needful by supporting this report, so that by consensus, Mr. Speaker, by consensus, for the last time, by consensus, Mr. Speaker, Easter is just around the corner. We are in a period of Lent, and fasting, Ramadan has also just started. Let us tell the country that because of the Lent and because of the Ramadan, every heat in us has been subdued, and that we can make progress on this. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Yes, Minority Chief Whip. Minority Chief Whip.
Mr. Speaker.
Why? You wanted to raise a point of order?
Speaker, with respect, the two leaders have engaged, both the minority leader and the majority leader, a while ago have engaged and have come to some decision. And the decision is that I should make this application to you, that we suspend sitting for 1 hour for a very important engagement between the two caucuses, after which, Speaker, we will resume sitting. So we are suspending sitting for an hour. That is application.
Yes, Minority Chief Whip.
Mr. Speaker, you have been trying to guide us to come to an amicable solution as far as this is concerned, and we thank you for that. My colleague has just made an application to you. I want to support the application he has made, and then appeal to you to suspend for 1 hour, as he said, so that we can meet and see what we can do to advance it, Mr. Speaker. So I second his application for suspension for a short period, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. That's right.
Honorable members, I'm trying to guard the sense of the House, and what I have gotten is that the application is well grounded, and as Master of the Standing Orders, I am convinced to grant it. And so I will suspend sitting for 1 hour, and it means at 3:30 we should be back here. Is that the case?
Yes, it is so, Speaker. But further to that, we will have the joint caucus at this venue immediately after suspension. Joint caucus.
That is after we've taken a decision on this motion, then you have a joint caucus. After the suspension. I should grant you more time to have a joint caucus. Yes?
Within the 1 hour allocated, we will have a joint caucus here.
As to what you do with the 1 hour is none of my business.
Yeah.
You have requested for 1 hour. I'm granting you your 1 hour. If you go to sleep, that is for you. If you go to have a joint caucus or committee of the whole, or you decide to go and play football within 1 hour and come, it's your business. So I will grant you the 1 hour. Agreed. So, honorable members, the House is suspended until 3:35, where we will reconvene to continue with the business of the House. The House, in respect of today's sitting, is suspended.
So that was the feed from Parliament, where the Appointments Committee's report is being deliberated on or debated on. Well, the House has been suspended for 1 hour by the Speaker, and after that they would come back by 3:30 and have further conversation on the Appointments report. My name is Philip Nilate. Still keep watching the City TV. We're back after the break.
Is this nanny floor? Yes. What is it with pig feet? No.
Ghana is a country that's full of historical antecedents and rich cultural heritage. What is a rich cultural heritage without soul food? And what is soul food without a touch of ethnicity? And what is ethnicity if it's not from your village? The season of all things Ghanaian is upon us, and we are here to celebrate an aspect of our Ghanaianness with the Back to Your Village Food Bazaar, happening live from the 25th to the 26th